When I talk to my clients, one of the things I try to do is break down really complex things into a simple mantra for them. And there are 4 Bs that you need to be paying attention to for your health and fitness. There is a bonus 5th one that I'll talk about at the end, but there are 4 specifically as it relates to your training. The 4 Bs are bend, bounce, build, and breathe. Those are 4 physical qualities that we should be chasing in every single training session. So bend stands for mobility and flexibility, bounce stands for power and speed, build is for maximal strength and muscle growth, and breathe is aerobic fitness and VO2 max. And these are really the big 4 qualities that people should be targeting in their training sessions. You can see with athletes, they're very conscious of doing all of these things. They should be, because they're at the top of their game and they've got some of the smartest people in the world helping them with their training. But be honest, when was the last time you actually did some dedicated speed or power training in your training sessions? Most people, as they get older, start to neglect the bounce part of training. Many people neglect bend as well. I can find a bunch of people in my age group who can't touch their toes anymore, including me, which is both a combination of all the activity I've done, injuries I've had, and then a lack of time investment in this valuable quality. And we just end up focusing on build and breathe, because those are the fun things, right? Lifting heavy things and going for a run or a ride with our friends or something like that. It's very easy to focus on those things, and we lose these other 2 qualities. But research on aging shows that loss of muscle mass as we get older is very much about losing type 2B fibers. This is our speed and power fibers that we're going to lose as we get older. So if we want to stave off aging, stave off age-related muscle loss, we need to be focused on power training. And then secondly, from personal experience, I can tell you that having worked in an aged care home that my family owned, when you lose enough flexibility that you can't do basic tasks for yourself, like put your pants on, bend over to put your shoes on, cut your toenails and things like that, you are absolutely going to start losing independence. And this is something we should be concerned about as we get older. There's information from groups like FMS as well that loss of ankle range actually leads to increased falls in elderly. So the amount of movement that you get at a joint is giving a lot of information to your brain about where the rest of your body is in space and how it's traveling, the speed it's moving at, the angle of the joints. All of these things make up a thing called proprioception. When I lose ankle range, I'm actually increasing risk for a bunch of other bad things to happen to me. So bend is another important quality that we need to look at, but bounce is another thing that we should be directing our time towards. When I started thinking about these as an overall guiding light for how every session should look, I started with 90 minutes, right? A 90-minute session would be 15 minutes of warm-up and mobility, flexibility, bend work. It would be 5 to 10 minutes of bounce work, and that's really all you need to target one exercise at quite a high quality level for a short period of time, just to encourage that muscle to stick around. About 20 to 30 minutes of targeted build work, which is really going to be about 3 or 4 exercises for about 4 sets each, or it's 2 pairs done in what's called an escalating density fashion in 2 10 to 15 minute blocks. And then finally, we would finish with 20 to 30 minutes of dedicated breathe work, which is going to be our aerobic conditioning VO2 max work. The reason it needs to be at least 20 minutes is because it takes about 20 minutes for the aerobic system to kick on properly. This thing called the Krebs cycle is quite slow to get going, takes about 20 minutes. So if you do an aerobic session that's only 20 minutes long, it's like tying your shoes up and then never going out for a run. So you actually need to go for a little bit longer than 20 minutes to actually not just allow that quality to start working, but allow it to adapt and start improving because you put some stress on it. Then I realized though, not many people are going to give up 90 minutes for a training session. And so I started having to think about maybe it's more realistic that we do 60-minute training sessions. And so a 60-minute training session, we're still down at 15 minutes as a warm-up and mobility, flexibility work, simply because it's very difficult to get a targeted, good warm-up in 10 minutes. If you're in a country that is cold, it might take you 10 minutes just to actually start getting warm. You haven't technically gone past base level at this point and actually ramped your body up to a point where you can train hard. You're only still at baseline. You've got to allow your body to get warm. It's going to take a little bit longer than 10 minutes, but you can probably do it in 15. 5 minutes for bounce. You have to be very smart. That's 2 or 3 sets of all-out work. Again, you need these big recoveries, 2 or 3 minutes between sets, but you could do 3 sets of vertical jumps, and there's your bounce work for that workout done. I'm now at 20 minutes, 15-minute warm-up, 5 minutes bounce. I got 20 minutes to dedicate towards build. That's 2 exercises done in back-to-back format, simply trying to get as many reps as possible at a given weight in that 20-minute time period. No sets and reps, just your ability to increase reps each time over about a 4-week period. What you should see is roughly a 10% gain over that time, and then you would add weight and start again. For best results, you would pick non-competing exercise. I might pick bench press and deadlift. I might pick pull-ups and squats. I need to pick big exercises, but they need to be for absolutely different muscle groups. There's no point me picking bench press and shoulder press, for instance, or pull-ups and rows. The muscle groups and the muscle actions are far too similar, and my performance in both is going to decrease rather than increase. But if you pick an upper body exercise and a lower body exercise, and they're big, compound, multi-joint exercises where you can use as much weight as possible, you'll find this a very time-efficient way, not just to maintain, but if you're working hard enough, you will actually build strength and muscle from following this training pattern. And then we have 20 minutes left to dedicate towards breathe. For time efficiency, I would normally recommend people do some kind of interval work here. So if you see our how to build VO2 max video for over 40s, that will give you a better idea, but there are a number of different interval structures you can follow, and in 20 minutes is more than enough time to actually not just maintain fitness, but build fitness beyond where you are right now. But you need to be working very, very hard. But that's another reason why the time limit can be quite short. You cannot work at maximal intensities for long periods of time. Now, the bonus 5th B is body composition, right? If you keep your body composition in check, then I know you're eating the right amount of food, you're getting an adequate amount of sleep, and your lifestyle in general is in check. You've probably got a good amount of daily activity in there as well versus time spent sitting still and with structured exercise. Body composition alone will decrease the risk of many of the leading causes of death. If you look through the top 10 leading causes of death, all of them are affected by diet and exercise, but in particular, the body composition element, just not being overweight, is the strongest predictor of longevity and, I'm not going to say immortality, but of being able to live for as long as possible. So there's 4 Bs with a bonus 5th, that's body composition. Structure your training this way. Make sure to add power and mobility and flexibility work into your training, and you'll see actually that you start feeling better, you start feeling more athletic, and your body becomes much more capable and athletic again, as opposed to a stiff old man. Now, if you like the content, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Go check out our website at peakperformance40.com and join the community filled with guys just like you looking for the best possible health and fitness advice.